something. If you don't, if they manage to convince you to step down, you will be promised CEC. You know, you get something in return. But sometimes they look at you and they're thinking, but this one has no votes. They're just 3,000 votes. Forgetting that if you let that person be, they actually spoil for the ODM candidate, because the other one will pita katikati yao, Mwangaza story, you know. So I feel bad for them because they tried to have these conversations as a house. It was not possible. Everybody was big, you know, big enough to command numbers.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then remember, these were actually real parties. So who do you shelf out? You know, so in Luyaland, for example, which party? Who would you give? You know, DAPs was mainly formed for all politics is local, and DAP Kenya was just for Luyaland. You know?
Even as you continue, just let's just inform our viewers that those are live pictures there from Mombasa, the Mvita Primary School polling station, where the candidate for ODM or Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition, Abdulswamad Shariff Nassir, is casting his ballot, and he's just there it is, cast his ballot there. Hopefully he's voted for himself.
There we go.
So, yeah.
Hopefully it's now in the hands of fate, he says. That's it. Whatever happens, happens. Moving forward,
right.
We will wait for Abdulswamad as he walks away and have my panel, you know, makes, you know, sort of like final points over here. Just for clarity, and as we go, Azimio, obviously how it lost Nairobi is exactly what you're talking about. You know, had great candidates, but all of a sudden decided to flip-flop, do whatever it is, and then, you know, they lost the seat. And you can paint this across the country, whereby this sort of political nursery school, the inability to control something, you know.
They were doomed. Either way, they were doomed. Because how do you, if they had forced, for lack of a better word, people to do, you see, they were not they didn't have candidates as Azimio. So maybe that's what they should have done, that because we are now a coalition, we're not going to go a coalition of parties, whatever that means. We will no longer have parties fielding candidates. We will have the coalition of parties fielding candidates. But you see, the bigger question it then raises is, how then will parties get funding? You know, post-election, ODM wants its funds, Jubilee wants its resources, you know. So there are lots of intrigues just behind the scenes. So I think they were just trying to do whatever was going to make things work. And then also remember the issue.
Whatever did not work.
And then also remember the issue of the coalition and having, say, Raila, if you're an Azimio candidate in Nyeri, for example.
Okay. I have to stop you again. Sorry. It's not a strategy. But here is Abdulswamad speaking first before we come back and wrap up this program.
Are we ready? All right. I have voted. Nawapatia wasia kwa watu wote. Watu wengi wana fikra na dhania ya kuwa kura zitachelewa. Kura zilianza mapema, hazitoendelezwa baada ya muda unaotakikana, na pia hamna foleni. Hao walioko hapa wote wamepiga kura. Kupiga kura inachukua muda wa chini takriban dakika 3 mpaka dakika 5. Kwa hivyo, kwa sababu ni boksi moja peke yake, ningewasihi watu waweze kujitokeza kwa wingi, waweze kuja kupiga kura zao.
Pengine umeridhishwa na jinsi tume ya IEBC
mpaka sasa IEBC wame so far hatujapata incident yoyote. Kwa hivyo tuendelee. Sawa. Hali ya usalama so far is good. We've not had any incidences. Of course, kuna mambo mengine tumeona wapinzani wetu wanajaribu kuyafanya, but we'll get there. Voter turnout mpaka sasa is extremely low. Kituo hiki cha hapa, we so far have less than 10% of the voter turnout. Lakini nasisitiza tena ya kuwa we need people waweze kujitokeza kwa wingi.
Now compare this station with the others that you visited.
The trend is the same all over. Trend is the same all over.
Maybe unadhani ni nini kinasababisha hiyo matukio ya hali ya last
Watu wamechoshwa kisha pia ile election iliyopita vile kulikuwa kuna mishaps nyingi, vituo vingine vilichelewa kufunguliwa, wengine walikuwa wanaambiwa ya kwa kitu fulani na fulani hakipo, so ilisababisha pakubwa.
Especially anything that you can add.
Sorry, mine is. Oopsie. Okay.
Come in front.
Mine is just to urge the people of Mombasa to come out and vote. We understand last time the polling stations were opened up very late and there were many challenges, but today the polling stations were opened up at 6 a.m. and just to let them know there will be no additional time. So by 5 p.m. they're going to close, so it is important if you're at home, at a holiday, just come in, vote. It's taking less than 3 minutes, then you can go back home. It is your right to vote, and I will also urge people, because there are some people who are trying to make people not come out and vote. Do not give your ID to anyone. Just come and vote. It is your right. And anybody else who was coming here with any other plan to come macho, and we are a big team, and we want to make sure that this is going to be a free and fair process due to go around. But the voter turnout so far is low, and would urge people just to come out and vote. Ningewaomba wanawake wa mama wote wajitokeze, kwa sababu hii ni kaunti yenu na gavana atakuwa gavana wenyu kwa miaka 5, na kwa hivyo ni vizuri wamama wajitokeze. Tuna maneno mengi sana tungetaka kusaidiwa na kaunti. Usipojitokeza leo, basi hutakuwa umechagua gavana wako. Na sisi wote tunawaomba wamama kwa heshima, hata kama ni kupika, tutapika baadaye. Kwanza tufike hapa, watoto tuwaosha baadaye, kwanza tupige kura yetu, alafu turudi nyumbani. Leo ni holiday, kwa hivyo utachukua muda mrefu kukaa hapa kupiga kura, alafu rudi nyumbani.
Vita Member of Parliament is here. What can you tell us about the ongoing process?
So far process iko vizuri, compare leo na last election ya 9. Leo kidogo kuna improvement kubwa sana kwa ABC. Unachukua muda mfupi, less than 3 minutes umemaliza kucast vote yako.
Ushapiga kura?
Mimi nishapiga kura, wataka yangu ya zamani ama hii ya Abdulswamad. Ya gavana wangu Abdulswamad. Asante.
All right, there you have it.
Abdulswamad there.
All right.
Body language expert.
Indeed, looking very confident, very
Calm.
smart, calm. So anyway, but we can't call it anyway. We cannot from where we sit.
We're calling it the body language.
All right, Prof.
At the point where Hassan Omar, the UDA candidate Kenya Kwanza, would be casting his ballot, our Swahili team will be there and will take you live to that location as and when that happens. But time to end up our very own session here from 6 in the morning.